Hey everyone, bit of a change of pace of content here. We're going to add some Modern Warfare seasoning to the mix. I've been getting asked a ton of questions about it. We were playing it on stream the other day, had some more hours in since then, and that almost always tells me I need to do a video. Now to push it out of the way, no, this doesn't mean we're stopping Tarkov content. We're just going to add some Modern Warfare stuff in here and there, so take it or leave it. I've dumped quite a few hours into the multiplayer beta so far, well over 20. And I want to preface this entire video that I have greatly enjoyed playing it. I've had a blast playing the Modern Warfare 2 beta. So keep that in mind and understand that all of this is going to be through that lens. I'm not unbiased. I'm not perfect. So I want to get that out of the way. But let's get into it and answer some questions and talk about it in general. Now, first off, should you pre-order? My answer, not until you play it for free. And even then, only if you have the extra cash, to be honest. I think it's a great thing that Call of Duty is opening up the beta for free this weekend and letting everyone get a taste for themselves without having to buy it. This tells me they have a lot of faith in their product, which is always great. So if you're curious, go try it out for a few hours, download it, and then see if it's for you. Now going forward, the beta is open from today, September 24th to the 26th. After that, if you pre-order, you'll get access to the campaign about a week early on October 20th. But that's even subject to change according to Blizzard if they have to move dates around or something. You can pre-order it still, but with it being open, I'd just try that first. There's no reason to spend the money. It's available on PlayStation, Xbox, through Blizzard on PC, or even Steam. And that means, for those of you that know how Steam works, you'll be able to order it on Steam, try it out, and if you don't like it, get a refund through their process. But let's talk about the game a little. The movement is slower than it has been in many years. So much so that it feels like the OG Modern Warfare 2 from the 2000s. Now, I'm loving it, but a lot of folks are calling it clunky. But I think that's an awful description. It's not clunky at all. The movement is very smooth, it's precise, and it feels great. It's just slower. This means that you need to be more deliberate in what you do, where you go, and players aren't flying around the map being nearly impossible to hit. Yes, it is a slower game because of that, but I think that's a good thing, especially for me as I'm pushing 40. All the slide cancel, wall running, rocket jump crap that CoD had put in over the last few iterations really turned me off of the multiplayer variations of the game. So this is incredibly refreshing and enjoying for me. Another big change, TTK is way down. People don't eat half or a third of a mag before dying. Again, back to the older CoD days. This will cause issues in weapon balancing, and right now it already has. Guns like the MP5 or the Lockmans in general are just broken, but it's the beta. It'll get fixed. And it's not as bad as the akimbo shotguns for those of you that remember how dumb those were. The maps are great. There is little imbalancing on some of the maps, but that's just stuff that's going to get fleshed out as more time gets put into the game. The action flows around into various points, and even if you get choked off in one spot, there are plenty of ways around it, and you just don't get trapped. The small maps provide a nice balance of cover and longer sight lines, and there are only a few instances where the domination mode seemed overwhelming. The point placement is really good too for domination, and it makes for some really dynamic PvP. After this, you have the new gun mod system, and it's really good. The UI takes some getting used to it, and it's frustrating at first because it's so new and just kind of doesn't make sense, but once you get the hang of it, you can really fly through weapon mods with ease. I also like how you can switch calibers on, say, the M4. Like all the platforms that are same, you can just swap out calibers, and at least for the most part, with the current progression system, you get to keep the attachments. This makes the progression system interesting and keeps you engaged with the various types of weapons on each platform. Now, as far as crossplay, it's crossplay, right? PC and console. And I'm never one to bitch too much about aim assist controllers or what they get. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion or not, but aim assist is a necessary evil if we want crossplay, and I do. It keeps the lobbies full and interesting, and you get a very, very broad mix of players. Now, the new perk system took some time to get used to and figure out as well. You have 4 perks, 2 base perks, a bonus perk, and an ultimate perk. Now, your base perks, you're gonna recognize a lot of these. There's a couple of new ones in here, but the thing is this is what you start off with. You start off with these 2 base perks, and then after 4 minutes, you get your bonus perk. Bonus perk, again, stuff you're gonna recognize. And then at 8 minutes, you get your ultimate perk. Again, stuff you're gonna recognize. So it does suck not getting, Ghost right out the gate when you're starting your match, but you'll learn it quicker as you get kills and capture objectives and stuff. It starts shaving time off that 4 and 8 minutes, so you'll get them a little bit faster. Now, for me, jury is out. I don't know if this is good or bad yet. It's going to take some time, but I'm going to give it a chance and see if it is a good change, a bad change, or how it just kind of fleshes out. Now, the prepaid Thursday and Friday beta only had the 12-player TDM, which was the quick play, which had, TDM and domination. It had invasion, third-person mosh pit, and then knockout. Now, with it being Saturday, you can see that. Oh, it had prison rescue too. It added a ton of other modes here. We have Ground War now, as well as Search and Destroy and Hardpoint added to the whole mix, the very familiar multiplayers that we all recognize. I played mostly the 12-player quick play and knockout, but I tried out the others. Invasion was odd to me, and I don't mean that in a bad way necessarily. I just think I need more time with it. But it was a weird mash between Battlefield and Call of Duty. Vehicles, all sorts of kill streaks. There was AI running around mixed with players. And the AI is actually pretty good. They're still bots, but they were taking cover and doing things. And there was time it was kind of hard to distinguish between if that was a bot or a player. Now, that could be as big of an insult to the player as it is a compliment to the bots, but it is what it is. Now, Knockout, I had a blast playing. It was a lot of fun. It's outside of most Call of Duty players' wheelhouses right now, so you end up with some frustrating moments when players don't revive or go for the objective, but that's pretty normal for CoD in my opinion. Once you get shot and you're down, you don't respawn, but you can be revived by a teammate, and there's unlimited. It's like if you get down 4 or 5 times, they can keep picking you up. There's also a package on this map. It's a big backpack. It's what the guy here, you can see this guy carrying on his back right now. And that's the objective. And it's part of the win conditions. The win conditions are simply killing all the other players on the other team, having the most players alive at the end of the clock, or holding on to that pack when the clock runs out. You could be 1 on 6, and if you have that pack when the clock runs out, you still win the round. And then it just ends up being first to 5 wins. Now, I only tried Prison Rescue 1 match, but it seemed interesting. It just needs more time. Again, this is going to be one you're going to want to play with friends because it needs a lot of coordination and teamwork, and that is pretty tough when you're playing with randoms. Now, third-person mosh pit, totally different deal. I didn't play it. I didn't try it. I'm not a third-person fan. I don't like the dynamics of third person, but that's my personal taste. If you want and you like it, by all means, go give it a whirl. As for the rest, big questions are still out there about the campaign, Warzone, and especially for all of us Tarkov fans, DMZ. The campaign doesn't worry me too much since CoD has always done really good with them. Even in today's day of shitty single players modes, sometimes they're not even included, COD's always been able to run above the bar with this. Warzone is a completely different game though, and I could see many mechanics being modified in this, what we're playing right now, to fit the crowd that plays that game mode, and it could be completely different than the multiplayer mode we're testing now. And that's perfectly fine. I have no issue with that. They also changed tons of things from the previous Warzone as far as equipment drops and such that the community pretty fired up. So it'll be interesting to see those reactions once it goes live in November. DMZ is all question marks right now though, and will be for some time. The mode isn't expected to release until November 16th with Warzone, and we've seen very little in the way of details on it. All we know is it's inspired by AFT, it's extraction based, has a ton of dev time being dumped into it, and will be a first in the Call of Duty franchise as far as style of gameplay. Now, my experience with the beta has been fantastic. I enjoyed it a lot, and that was playing on PC with the game freezing and crashing like every 2 or 3 matches. They've been working on it though, and it looks like it's getting better. I fell right back into my old ways and had tons of nostalgia from the old Modern Warfare 2 and enjoyed it a ton. And I hope the devs stick to their guns and don't start changing stuff around too much and adding slide canceling and crap like that. I think this is going to be an incredibly successful game because of it, and it'll bring back the older crowd who grew up on CoD and still appeal to the younger generation. Now, for concerns or negatives or the bad stuff, if you will, because it wasn't all perfect. The guns are incredibly unbalanced. Things like the MP5 are nearly unbeatable up close, and it has the ability to even put 50-round mags in it, a suppressor, and lasers for hipfire. But this is always a problem in first-person shooters. It just takes time to balance and tweak, and it'll come. But I suggest getting the MP5 unlocked and running it while you can because it is a blast right now. The matchmaking seems to be all over the place, and again, this could just be because it's beta. I played very few balanced matches where it felt like you were only close to winning or close to losing. We were most of the time either stomping the other team or getting stomped on. This is, again, probably just because of the beta, but I hope this doesn't roll into the main game for long. It just takes the fun out of the whole match, and especially when whole teams just quit, where you get stuck in a death loop and can't get a kill or let alone capture a point. Now, many of the maps seem small. Now, and this is probably just because we were only given a few out the gate. And hopefully more mid-sized maps will come in here, but the compactness made domination a fustercluck. And TDM got to the point where you were fighting within seconds of spawning because players were just all over the map. And I don't mean in a normal Call of Duty way. I mean more extreme than what you felt, to a point where it was taking the enjoyment. It wasn't as fun to play. It didn't matter what side of the equation you were on. It gets boring, if you will. So hopefully that'll get sorted out and things will get tweaked and made better. Well, that's my take for what it's worth. I'm going to hammer out some more hours this weekend now that they added these other game modes especially. So if you see me streaming, come over and say hi. Assuming the game holds up, we'll do some more Call of Duty content in the future. But I hope you get a chance to try it out this weekend, especially with it being free, so you can figure out if you want to play it or not. But I'm loving it so far, and I hope to see you out there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.